Terence Crawford just had his training session leaked ahead of his fight with Canelo Alvarez, and the most noticeable aspect he was working on was how he was going to increase his size and manage the size difference between him and Canelo Alvarez. Despite the fight being 4 months away, Crawford's training session was as intense as if he were fighting in a matter of weeks. Nothing is light about his training anymore. He gets up early and goes on a long jog to improve his athleticism. He then returns for breakfast and goes about his boxing, sparring, and weightlifting for the rest of the day, with breaks in between before we dive into the details of his leaked training and all of his activities. Let's check out a few comments that were made after fans stumbled on his footage. Go champ, first boxer in history to be undisputed in 3 weight classes. Come September, the whole world will recognize Terence Crawford as one of the greatest of all time. A fan wrote, another who was clearly rooting for Canelo Alvarez tried to downplay Crawford's efforts, writing, "It doesn't matter how much weight you gain. Canelo Alvarez will mess you up. He's not Madrimov, and it's not your weight class, if you want to be remembered as whatever you've got to let go of the fight and save yourself the embarrassment."
We going up November 20th.
This fan, who is willing to go to any length to affirm his confidence in a victory for Terence Crawford, said, "It's no joke this time, but I will stop watching boxing if Canelo wins, because there is no way he wins after that performance against William Skull. The man cannot cut the ring anymore. He is so slow and unaggressive, and people really think he will knock Crawford out. You all will know who Crawford is on fight night." Another Crawford fan said, "You all called the Spence fight a 50-50 fight, and he won, and then suddenly everyone remembered Errol Spence had an accident and was damaged. Now the fight with Canelo is being called a 30-70 fight against Crawford. I hope you all do not start making excuses when the GOAT wins again. He is even older than Canelo, so age is no excuse."
Without the strap?
Lastly, a huge Crawford hater commented, "Weight classes for a reason, and if you refuse to learn, you end up as the victim of the knockout of the year. Crawford has been overhyped all his life with no real fighters in his resume. It's Canelo's time to put his lights out and get Crawford to the rightful place he should be as an average fighter, while the undefeated world champion intends to improve his training intensity. As the fight draws closer, he has started on a very impressive note, trying out new training and weight building methods to ensure his size disadvantage becomes less of a problem in the ring." Crawford's approach to training for his fight against Canelo Alvarez combines rigorous physical preparation with a strong mental game, setting him apart in the boxing world. Crawford's current training routine is a diverse blend of activities designed to hone his boxing prowess, maintain peak physical condition, improve his punch power, and make him gain the necessary weight he needs to challenge Canelo Alvarez. A typical day in the champ's training routine includes circuit training with weights, strength, and conditioning conditioning workouts to improve speed and agility, core work where McIntyre bounces a heavy medicine ball off Crawford's stomach while he's doing crunches, mountain runs, and swimming.
Terence Crawford is especially a fan of swimming for cardio training and will swim for 30 minutes to an hour every night. It is non-impact and easy on the joints, which helps with recovery and the regeneration of muscle cells and fibers. Swimming is not natural for him, so he has to work a little harder, but it provides a different type of cardio compared to running, and he believes it helps tremendously with endurance. After swimming, he moves on to boxing training, where he always works hard to improve both his offensive and defensive skills. This is clearly seen when he practices with his pads. At first, his coaches tried to convince him to stick to one stance, but eventually they realized it was better to train him in both. You can still see him practicing this way today. When boxers train for a fight, they often practice sparring with other boxers to improve, and this was especially true for Terence Crawford early in his career. He was so skilled that even top boxers like Timothy Bradley were impressed by him. Today, Terence is one of the best boxers in the world, and other fighters come to him for sparring. They do not use... When Crawford spars with other boxers, he often uses his world-class left-hand boxing. Fans know that developing punching power requires a lot of hard work. One of the main tools used for this purpose is the heavy bag. Crawford, a professional boxer, is no exception. Crawford uses the heavy bag to practice his punching technique and build his shoulder endurance. Watching Terence in action, you can see him throwing powerful punches, quick combinations, and everything in between to get the most out of his training. Crawford This is a common exercise that helps him improve his overall boxing skills. Crawford has been working with his coaches for most of his life. One of the most important parts of his training is practicing on the pads with his coaches. During these sessions, he does not focus on hitting hard or fast, but instead works on different offensive and defensive scenarios, with a focus on technique and tactics. Crawford and his coaches also use other training tools like reaction noodles and a punch shield to enhance movement and precision. Terence Crawford is a phenomenal shadow boxer with some impressive skill.
He's good at throwing offensive and defensive punches, making it look effortless. But that's not all. Crawford is also incredibly tough mentally. He'll often train in really challenging conditions to push himself harder. And when he's not doing that, he likes to use light 2 kilograms dumbbells to shadow box. These help him build strength while also staying fast yet graceful, so he can hit hard while still being quick on his feet. Crawford is consistently looking to improve his accuracy and timing. To achieve this, he uses a specific bag called the double end bag during his training. It helps him to practice footwork and head movement, which are important skills to have in the boxing ring.